So, but this part is interesting because he lies. This is unrelated to the whole subject, but you heard him attacking that person right there, Miriam Chumley. So Sam saw that while he was talking about me, got immediately distracted, right? He has no self-control for the Spirit. So this person said, no, I'll ask the living to pray for me. And so Sam heard that as an attack against, prayers to Mary and the saints. And it's when he started using profanity and cursing like he just did. And we'll pick it up right there. And then I'll show you where he blows it.
And because you're a whore, a spiritual prostitute whore, Jesus said they're alive. But because you're a whore, daughter of Satan, you just said Jesus lied. Because he says they're not dead, they're alive. See why you're a whore? You're not a Christian, but a whore. You are a Jezebel, a daughter of Satan. Whoever says that the saints are dead means that Jesus lied, which we know he can't. That means you just blaspheme Jesus. This is why you are a whore. You're a spiritual whore, a daughter of Satan. The Lord rebuke you, crush your mouth, return to your vomit, you whore.
Hey, Sam, when you say the Lord rebuke you, is there any way you could be the Lord in that sentence? Exactly. We'll get back to that later, perv. Now, you heard how he totally just went insane, right? When he saw that reference to prayers to the saints and that in the middle of a discussion about a totally different subject. You heard how he went bananas, right? He started cursing the person, cursing their mothers and all the stuff, right? So but I want to make a point here because it shows how terrible he is when it comes to defending his beliefs on any subject, right? Now he's good in attacking you in his whole apologetic insanity. No one disputes that. Once you peel away the layers of attack, it's empty. It's usually just garbage, right? So listen to what he says here.
Or because Jesus said they're not dead. Luke 20, 37, 38. But that the dead are raised, even Moses showed in the passage.
Okay, did you hear how he misquoted the Bible and misquoted Jesus and set up a false measure for this person's salvation? Let's play it again because he's out of control. He's a maniac and a liar. He rapes the Bible and attacks people in defense of his blasphemous beliefs, one of which is praying to the saints or to Mary. That's dragon theology, you pervert. Now, he misquotes Jesus here. Did you hear how he misquoted him? He said, Jesus said they're alive, right? People who have died, like the saints and Mary. Okay, no, he didn't, pervert. You're a liar and you raped the Bible repeatedly, and that's why you have to be spiritually out of here. And I also do this for Sam because it helps remind him of when Michael the Archangel punched his lights out and sent him to the earth. And I don't want him to forget that. So let's listen to the great liar again. And so you can witness his patheticness again.
And because you're a whore, a spiritual prostitute whore, Jesus said they're alive.
Right there. In addition to all the other stuff, he said, Jesus said they're alive. Okay? Remember that.
But because you're a whore, daughter of Satan, you just said Jesus lied. Because he says they're not dead, they're alive. See why?
He said, Jesus says they're not dead, they're alive. And the guy in the caller, the commenter right there, is calling Jesus a liar. Because Jesus said they're alive, not dead. Okay? So he set up a lie as a basis for condemning someone eternally, basically, right? I mean, he's pretty, if not, he's as close as you can get without doing so, over a lie. Same with the Trinity, right? That's what they do all the time. How is it a lie? Well, he says, Jesus says they're alive. Let's see what he says about that.
You're a whore. You're not a Christian, but a whore. You are a Jezebel, a daughter of Satan. What?
Right. I mean, I don't know how you could get more condemnatory than that. So, again, if I see anybody defending this guy on any level spiritually, like you think he's not a demoniac pervert, just, why don't you just unsubscribe? I'll just delete you. I'm not going to tolerate insanity. If you're that far gone that you don't see that this guy's gone, well, what's the point? You can agree with Sam. And if you still agree with Sam doctrinally, I understand that. I understand your doctrine may not necessarily depend on Sam, but I'm going to destroy his arguments. So if your doctrine survives all that, good for you.
Whoever says that the saints are dead means that Jesus lied, which we know he can't. That means you just blaspheme Jesus. This is why you are a whore. You're a spiritual whore, a daughter of Satan. The Lord rebuke you, crush your mouth, return to your vomit, you whore, because Jesus said they're not dead. Luke 20.
Jesus said they're not dead. Okay. And he kind of says that, but he also said Jesus said they're alive. And he didn't make any qualification whatsoever. Nor does he anytime other than when he's actually reading the text. Listen to this.
37, 38. But that the dead are raised, even Moses showed in the passage about the bush where he calls the Lord the God of Abraham and the God of Isaac and the God of Jacob. Now he's not the God of the dead, but of the living, for all live to him. But you are a dead whore.
So he quotes the verse, and he even highlights the key part there at the end, for all live to him. It doesn't say they live to anybody else, pervert. Sam is applying this text to mean the saints and Mary are still all alive to us. Oh, yeah. And that therefore we're not praying to the dead, like this commenter at the bottom. See, he's crazy. He can literally read the text. He can literally highlight the key part he's omitting and then proceed to omit it. Oh.
You're not alive. You're spiritually dead. You're of your father, the devil, which is why you would say that. Yes, we ask the living to pray, and they're alive, but you're dead. You're a dead dog. You're a Jezebel, a spiritual whore, a daughter of Satan. Now return in the passage about the bush where he calls the Lord the God of Abraham and the God of Isaac and the God of Jacob. Now he's not the God of the dead, but of the living, for all live to him. But you are a dead whore. You're not alive. You're spiritually dead. You're of your father, the devil, which is why you would say that. Yes, we ask the living to pray, and they're alive, but you're dead.
Did you hear that? He said, we ask the living to pray for us. They're alive, but you're dead. Talking to the commenter. It doesn't say they're alive. It says, all live to him. Because their spirits return to him and he has it. He has their life. It doesn't say anything about people living to you so that you can pray to them. You have misquoted this text several times in this one brief segment, and it's literally what you highlighted. You just referred to it again and before you condemned this other person and misquoted it yet again. So everybody, just understand this guy's gone. Most of them are gone. He's just better at arguing for their goneness because it bothers him so much. He can't handle it. He could be staring right at it, blind as a perverted bat.
You're a dead dog. You're a Jezebel, a spiritual whore, a daughter of Satan. Now return to your vomit, you piece of garbage. Pit on you, and you even have the name of the Blessed Mother. May the Lord remove your name because you're not worthy to be named after the Holy Mother. Okay, you filthy dog.